Is it time to pack it in? Hello, everyone. Bront CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and it is that time of the month. We are getting another fusion. Those of you who thought we were going to get a bit of a break, I guess we're not getting one. So the 4th of July, we have Packmaster Shaik. You can see, in fact, let me pull my camera off. You see? Packmaster Shaik. I believe that's how you pronounce that. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. This dude has got a very, very interesting kit. So we're going to go over him and I'll give you my thoughts on him as well. So hopefully this will be pretty quick of a video. So he is a legendary HP champion. He is an orc. That's actually good. I think the orcs could use a few better legendaries. They're kind of lacking. He's got a nice aura for the ally speed and all battles at 19%. So that's a good start there. So let's start with his A1. So he's got an attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 60% decrease for 2 turns. It's okay, 50% buffable to 70%, sniper put it at 75. It's okay, it's an A1, he needs accuracy for it. If we actually look at his kit, he may not need accuracy for everything else, so we'll see. However, he also has a teams up with any allied terror beasts, gore masks, hound spawns, hellfangs, fellhounds, and stitch beasts, aka all the dogs. So he is a Doge Master, or Packmaster, however you want to call him. So basically, any of the dogs that are currently working in his kit will team up with him and join that attack. That's interesting. Some of the hounds can actually hit fairly hard, although they're all rares. Other than Terror Beast, is a epic, not very good. He's actually probably the worst of them, actually. Fellhound is great. He's a very hard-hitting A1 attacker. He can do campaign really quickly. So having somebody that ally attacks with a Fellhound, not that bad. But let's go take a look and see if there's anything else redeemable about this. One thing I will let you know is apparently Polarium has actually said there are maybe other champions in the future that this champion may work with. So if there becomes a legendary hound or dog or something else in the future, or epics or anything else like that, which I think could be kind of cool, he will also team up with them. I think that makes him very interesting, and I think that makes him somebody that might be difficult to miss, but let's go take a look at the rest of his kit to see if there's any use for him right now in the game. A2, 5-turn cooldown, bookable to 3, removes all debuffs from this champion and heals them by 50% of their max HP. That's a chunky heal for just him. Then places a shield buff on just him for 2 turns. Value of the shield is equal to any surplus heal. Well, surplus healing is good, and he's got a chunk amount of HP, so 50% of his max HP could be 50k, if not more. The shield buff cannot be removed, stolen, or transferred if at least one hound is on the same team. Finally, places a taunt buff and a reflect damage on this champion. Those cannot be removed or stolen or transferred if there's a hound on the team. So he gets a chunky heal, a good shield, taunt, and reflect damage on a single skill. That spells to me somebody who could be a Hydra Mischief tank, which is good. He'll keep himself alive. He can be definitely helpful on a lot of the waves for control. Taunt is very useful. I could actually see this being useful in Iron Twins. If people are worried about the taunt and a shield for Iron Twins, there's some actual use for that shield and a heal and a taunt in Iron Twins. Overall, there's I can also, in fact, I can actually see this being used in Shogun as well. So I think that's a decent ability. It's not an amazing. It does not make him a must-have champion for that, but let's take a look and see what else he does. Bloodhowl is a 4-turn cooldown, bookable to a 3. Fills all turn meter of all allies by 25%. That's a good chunky turn meter boost. 80% chance, bookable to 100, of placing a block debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns. Requires accuracy unless he's got one of the hounds with him. Debuff cannot be resisted if he's got one of the hounds with him. So if he's going with a hound, he does not need accuracy, which means you don't bother with accuracy probably because the decreased defense on the A1 is not that big of a deal. Turn meter boost is nice. Block buffs is great. That's another good Hydra ability. So you've got somebody that can help you tank, can mischief tank, and place block buffs. And he's got decreased defense if you want to build him with some accuracy. Overall, that already says that it's actually not a bad Hydra. So if you're just getting into Hydra, I think this kit is already a decent kit for you to take a look at. Let's take a look at his passive, though. When attacked, places a Hex debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. Ally attacks on targets under Hex debuff placed by this champion deal 20% more damage. You'll need accuracy to place that Hex. I don't see any irresistible on this. When the champion is attacked, any ally Terror Beast, Goremask, Hound Spawns, Hellfangs, or the Beasts will also counterattack. So, if you can build a team with the Beasts, every time he's attacked, which of course as a taunt will make him attacked more often than not, they'll get a chance to counterattack. So that could be very interesting. I don't know if I would build a Fellhound team in Hydra just to deal with him, but honestly, I think as an early account, that could be an interesting option. Again, we might get more Hounds, and more Hounds will go under his ability as well, so that's certainly good. Placing Hex is very useful, definitely useful in Hydra. So he's also a Hex champion with block buffs and taunt and reflect damage and mischief tanking. Actually a pretty decent kit for Hydra. He's not an amazing endgame Hydra, but he's good for progression in Hydra. He'd be good in a hard or a normal team. If you're struggling in Hydra, he does a lot of things in Hydra that you kind of need. You're going to need to build him with resistance if you're going to want to make him a mischief tank, which is going to make him harder to build because you also want to build him with accuracy unless you've got a Hound for that block buffs as well. And then for that Hex, you're going to need accuracy anyway. So honestly, the fact that the block buffs can't be resisted is really not that exciting, other than the fact it prevents a 3%. So that special ability probably might as well not exist if you read the kit. So is he going to be easy to build? No, because you're going to want some resistance and some accuracy and a lot of HP. But you don't need to build him for damage because he doesn't need to do a ton of damage. So all you need is accuracy, resistance, some HP, and maybe some speed. Makes him reasonably easy to build. He's got a nice aura, so that can be very helpful for you. Overall, I think he's worth looking at. I think he's a good champion to aim for, and he does something unique with all these Hounds. And I think that they're going to maybe build on this with another legendary champion. Maybe the next fusion afterwards will be a Hound that he can use with all of his abilities as well. Another pair, or perhaps they might have a Void legendary Hound that pairs with him that's going to come out even with the next patch, which would be July 4th. I think he's worth going. I don't think he's a must fuse because his kit's just decent, but I know that I am absolutely going to go for him. Hopefully that helps you guys out, lets you know what I'm thinking about him. I'm going to be going for him on both of my accounts. I would recommend you do it if you're up to it, and if not, focus on saving so you can make the next fusion, because maybe this fusion is just okay, and if you don't think you can make this fusion, save up so you can make the next fusion, because fusions are a great way to progress your account. So until next time, I'm Bront CatHerder.